We are here now in the vendor room, now with carpeting. And yes, it is as comfy as it looks. You should all get over here if you're not here. I mean, you know, if you're not, anyways. We are now here with Travis Perkins. Travis the Geek, DeviantArt.com, all this. And we have him right here in the flesh.
Hello there.
Now, Travis, how long have you been doing artwork as an artist?
Professionally, I've been doing this, I'm going on about 5 years now.
5 years professionally?
Yeah. At least going to conventions and stuff, anyway.
For the past 5 years, you say?
It'll be, it'll be 5 years at the end of this year, so yeah.
Excellent. Now, where do you get your inspiration for work? Is it just basically movies and stuff that you like?
A little bit of all over the place. Cartoons, comics are, two probably the biggest influences, but certainly a lot of movies and stuff like that too. I kind of consider my style to be part anime, part Western comics. I try to do the best of both worlds, I guess that's a little arguable, but...
Now, where did you learn to draw, or have you always had the gift to draw?
Okay, I always say self-taught, but no one's really an island. I have lots of friends who are artists, and of course it's a lot of practice too. No one's born just doing this, but no formal schooling or anything. Mostly just like copying artists that I really like and trying to adapt into my own style.
So, what's your favorite thing to draw?
Oh, that's so tough. Whenever I watch like a new TV show or a new cartoon, that I immediately have to draw it almost. So a lot of times it's whatever I've seen last. But definitely superheroes were one of the biggest influences for me growing up. And it's a lot of cartoon characters. I like a lot of like the Cartoon Network stuff.
Right. So, do you also do comics then?
Yes, that's something I'm kind of new getting into. That is part of an anthology series where I jumped in on like issue 2 I started working on. And then on this one right here, Kitty Games, is one that I color. Or I assistant color. It was like me and one other guy color it.
Excellent. So, what is your current new show that you're watching that you really like? Or you plan on working on doing more work for?
Well, I've really been getting into Super Sentai lately. Right now I'm watching Ninja Sentai Kaku Ranger, which was from 1993, I guess, but I'm watching it for the first time now. If you're a Power Rangers fan, you might remember it as the Alien Rangers, I guess. I had stopped watching Power Rangers by that point, but I guess that's what this Sentai series corresponds with.
So, how many other people do you work with you on these comics?
Okay, on the anthology series, I work directly with the writer, and then he works with some other people, because, there's multiple stories in each comic. But on Kitty Games, I worked with about 4 other people. There was one other colorist who worked with me, and then there was the artist, and then 2 writers. And that's the newest one. This is actually the first show where I've had Kitty Games out.
Now, how did you go about getting your work published like this?
Actually, it's all self-published. Beautiful, Silly, and Terrible Things, I think, is all through Kablam, and I'm not sure who we are printing Kitty Games through. That wasn't my department.
So I see this one called Beautiful, Silly, and Terrible Things.
Yeah, I always mess up the title. I work on the book, it's 3 issues, and I still mess up the title half the time.
Now, do you do more sci-fi, fantasy, or superhero stuff, or do you do about equal amount of all of it?
A little bit of everything, I guess. By sci-fi, superhero would be the stuff I do the most.
Sci-fi, superhero. Now, when I saw Beautiful, Silly, and Terrible Things, a certain Netflix show came to mind as soon as I saw the title. Stranger Things.
Oh yes, yes. I'm a big fan of Stranger Things. I do have to say we had the title first.
Do you think, now have you done any Stranger Things work yet?
I've done some sketches. I don't have any prints or anything. I've done like a couple sketch cards, but that's about it so far. I'm sure I'll have something out. I'd like to have something for the premiere, which I think is at the end of October for season 2.
Now, what would you say your favorite part of the whole process is? Is your favorite part actually doing the drawings? Is your favorite part the conventions? What is the part that you cherish the most?
Well, as far as making the art, I love the coloring. I color digitally, and that's a lot of fun. But in terms of like the overall, conventions are a lot of fun. Just getting out and meeting people, that's really great.
So that you'd say that's probably your favorite part of it?
I think so. Yeah, just you know, I'm not very social in my regular life. You know, it's kind of get up, go to work, come back home, and draw with what little bit of free time I have.
Right.
So coming out to conventions, it's my one chance to really meet people and.
What can you tell me about this piece here?
Oh, this one is. The idea behind it is that they're all secretly Time Lords, and it's like the Doctor had gathered up all these secret Time Lords. Like you got Mary Poppins, Doc Brown, James Bond, Willy Wonka, Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, of course wearing a TARDIS dress because she always had the themed dresses.
What happened to Miss Frizzle?
But then Gandalf and Santa Claus.
Excellent. This is really neat. Now, with your work, do you seek to basically just recreate what you've seen in the shows, or do you try to do a different spin on it, or do you try to tell a story?
I always try to put some sort of spin. You'll notice in my book that there is a lot of like crossover type stuff, but I always try to make the crossovers make some sort of sense. Like you see a lot of crossovers where it's just like, oh, it's Winnie the Pooh and Doctor Who. Whatever. But I try to actually have some sort of theme with my crossovers. And there's definitely a lot of humor goes into it too. I think the emotion I try to get is laughter out of a lot of this stuff.
I see. So, what would you tell someone who's thinking about starting their own artist thing?
Probably the two biggest things, of course, is practice. You literally cannot practice too much, but also at the same time, don't overthink it. I know when I could have started doing this a lot earlier than I did. But I always doubted myself, thinking it's like, those are professional comics people. You have to be born into that. Anyone can do this.
Or let's say they have another talent per se, or if they have a book or something.
Just go for it. With be it writing, be it drawing, anything like that. The gatekeepers are disappearing more and more. The internet is making it so much easier to get into creative fields. Don't wait to be discovered. Just put yourself out there and kick down the door.
Now, if you don't mind asking, what is your other profession or job outside of here?
Retail. Glorious retail. Which I tell you, it's always interesting going to these shows, to over the weekend have people, asking for your autograph and then going back to work on Monday and having people yell at you for coupons.
So you're saying somebody in retail could actually do this?
Absolutely. In fact, that is kind of one of the, I guess you'd say, drawbacks to this is for the first few years you will have to have another job.
Right.
You're not going to release your first comic and immediately get rich and famous.
Right, but let's say somebody who works in retail, but they love to have a table like this and stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know several people who retail's just one example, but lots of day jobs. I know people who are artists who also deliver pizzas. One of my mentors used to deliver furniture.
I love this one.
Oh yeah, that's my latest full color print.
That is awesome. Wow. So what is probably, do you have a favorite of your works?
Once again, it's kind of like whatever my latest thing is, because I'm always trying to improve. So kind of like the older a print is, kind of the more flaws I see in it, and the more I try to, I've tried to improve since then. So,
wait, I have a question on this one real quick.
Yeah.
Is this Metal Gear Solid?
No, this is actually from, it's going to be issue 4 of Beautiful, Silly, and Terrible Things.
Oh, okay.
We are in the process right now. I'm literally, like, before I came out to this show, I was working on the very last page of it. So we're hoping to have that out. I'm thinking probably in September is the show that I want to have issues at.
This is fantastic work.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fellow adventurers, this means that if you have a talent of some sort, no excuses. You can do it.
If I can do it, anyone can. That's for sure.
So, what is your favorite genre? Would you say superheroes or science fiction?
If I had to choose just one, probably superheroes, but I tend to go for the superheroes with a strong sci-fi element to it. Like in high school, I loved Green Lantern.